Hi everyone, it's Katrina. Some of the world's most unique natural features are both eerie and beautiful. From deceptive and colorful water bodies to dead but stunning landscapes, here are 10 of the world's most mysterious places. Number 10. Floating Eye Island. In northeast Argentina, there's a nearly perfectly circular island which floats and rotates. Dubbed the Eye for its bizarre shape, the island is located in the Parana Delta marshes outside Buenos Aires, in a small round lake measuring 387 feet across. Horror filmmaker Sergio Newspiller discovered the Eye in 2018 using Google Maps while researching for a new horror movie and noticed that it seemed to rotate on its own axis. After going public with the discovery, Newspiller trekked through swamps for 8 hours to reach the strange formation and see what was going on for himself. He brought a hydraulic and civil engineer with him, as well as a tech expert. The team noticed that the lake's water was unusually clear and cold for the area, and its bottom is hard, unlike the surrounding terrain. But they couldn't figure out how the island came to exist, or the mechanisms underlying its baffling behavior. Researchers observing satellite imagery of the Eye think that something seems to be pulling the floating island around. In the lake around the island, there is gas bubbling up from the bottom, most likely methane gas, which might explain its strange behavior. Newspiller wants to further explore the Eye in hopes of resolving the many unanswered questions surrounding it, and launched a Kickstarter campaign to raise money for scuba gear, specialized drones, and other necessary stuff, and to hire experts including a geologist and a biologist. There are other floating islands in other parts of the world, but they are quite rare and will deteriorate over time. This circular island is definitely hard to explain. Number 9. Manpupuner Rock Formations. There are 7 magnificent rock pillars jutting out from the landscape just above the Arctic Circle and slightly west of Russia's Ural Mountains. Standing between 98 and 200 feet high, they are known as the Manpupuner Rock Formations, 7 strong men, and the poles of the Komi Republic. These strange rocks resemble large figures, such as a huge man and a horse, or a ram's head, but nobody really knows how they got there. The formations are a major topic of local folklore, which claims that spirits gathered there during ancient times and were once considered holy to the local Mansi people. Legend goes the rocks were a group of giants on a trek to destroy the Mansi people, but the group's shamans saw the holy mountains, dropped his drum, and the 7 giants turned to stone. Climbing the rocks is strongly discouraged, and to date, no one has reached the top of any of the pillars that we know of. It is most likely that 200 million years ago, there were a series of high mountains at the site. Over time, wind, snow, rain, frost, and heat eroded them, eventually leaving behind the erosion-resistant, solid sericite quartzite pillars that make up the formations today. People who visit the site are said to feel a sense of spiritual calm. Number 8. Caño Cristales River. Colombia's 62-mile-long Caño Cristales River has also been nicknamed the Liquid Rainbow and the River of 5 Colors. Famous for its vivid color palette, it is surrounded by 3 very diverse ecosystems: the Andes, the Amazon, and the plains, so there is a huge diversity of animals and plants you can find here. During the wet season, between the end of July through November, the riverbed boasts a series of vibrant hues, including orange, red, yellow, green, blue, and black. The shades of red that tend to dominate the landscape are caused by the Macarenia clavigera plants. One particularly amazing feature of the river is that its water is very clear, making its colorful features especially visible. It's also fast-flowing and has various waterfalls and pools, further adding to its scenic and mysterious beauty. Located in a remote area of Meta Serrania de la Macarena province, the river is not easily accessible by car. The best way to get there is by first flying into the nearby town of La Macarena. From there, a short trip by foot, horse, or donkey is required to reach the river. While the Caño Cristales River is closed to visitors during the dry season, tourists are lucky they can visit at all. It was completely off-limits for years due to the ongoing Colombian Civil War as well as conservation concerns. And now for number 7, but first I want to give a quick shout out to Carrington Hollister. I really appreciate the nice comments. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe and let me know which of these places you would like to visit in the comments below. Number 7. Shilin. Shilin, or the Stone Forest, covers a 116 square mile area of China's Yunnan province. Its landscape is dominated by 270-million-year-old karst formations that were created by water and wind erosion and seismic activity. Nature can do a lot. Within the collection of stalagmite-like limestone pillars are vast arrays of labyrinths. Shilin is made up of many small stone forests, including the South China Karst UNESCO World Heritage Site, as well as caves, waterfalls, ponds, an underground river, and a lake that contains an island. The Ashima stone is one of Shilin's most popular attractions. According to local legend, it was formed when a young girl of the Yi people named Ashima fled into the forest and turned to stone after being forbidden from marrying the man she loved. Number 6. Marble Caves of Chile. Chile's Cavernas de Mármol, known more simply as the Marble Caves, are part of a solid marble formation bordering a remote glacial lake called General Carrera Lake along the Chile-Argentina border in the heart of Patagonia. Water has splashed against the blue calcium carbonate for the last 6,000 or so years, ultimately forming the smooth, swirling cavern walls. The surrounding waters appear in shifting shades of azure depending on water levels and the time of year, adding to the formation's stunning beauty. Between September and February, melting ice water gives the lake a distinct turquoise hue. Morning is the best time of day for catching photos due to optimal lighting. The cave's marble cathedral is best seen at either sunrise or sunset as light creeps into or out of the caves. To get to the area, you can catch a 2.5-hour flight from Santiago to Balmaceda. From there, the caves are a 120-mile drive away, which requires traveling down rural dirt roads. The caves are only accessible by boat or ferry, and tours depend on the weather. Number 5. Lake Kelimutu. The 3 crater lakes of Flores, Indonesia's Mount Kelimutu National Park, are known as the Boiling Lakes. Each lake has its own unique array of colors that change independently and unpredictably, ranging from blue-green and black to white, red, and even a deep chocolate brown. The changes occur frequently. To give you an idea, the lake's colors shifted 6 times between January and November 2016. The westernmost lake, Tiwu Ata Mpupu, or Lake of Old People, is usually blue. Tiwu Ata Polo, or Bewitched or Enchanted Lake, is the easternmost lake and is usually red. The middle lake, Tiwu Nua Muri Kufai, or Lake of Young Men and Maidens, is typically green. But the lake's colors are subject to change suddenly and without any detectable pattern. While many colored lakes are tinted by bacteria, the color changes at the Kelimutu lakes are more mysterious in origin and occur too frequently to be traced to their bacterial content. According to science, the lake's colors are influenced by rainfall, groundwater within the volcano, and volcanic gas input. Local legend holds that the lakes are the resting places of departed souls, and that when someone passes away, they're sent to one of the 3 lakes based on their life merits. The best time to visit is at sunrise during the dry season in July or August. Unlike some of the destinations I've told you about, you can drive right up to the mountain and see the lakes. Number 4. Cave of the Crystals. Also called the Giant Crystal Cave, Mexico's Cave of the Crystals is located 984 feet beneath the Sierra de Naica mountain in Chihuahua. It contains gigantic, mesmerizing gypsum crystals that are at least 500,000 years old, and it wasn't discovered until the year 2000. Many of the pillars are between 13 and 19.6 feet long, while the largest crystals are up to 36 feet long and 3.2 feet thick. The Sierra de Naica mountain passes right over regional fault lines. Magma began pushing to the Earth's surface through the fault around 26 million years ago, leading to the mountain's formation. The gypsum pillars are also a result of this process. Unfortunately, now it's nearly impossible to visit the giant crystal cave, but you kind of could before. The cave was filled with water until shortly before the crystals were discovered, when the water was pumped out by a mining company. But the environment is inhospitable, even when dry. For one, the air reaches temperatures as high as 113 degrees Fahrenheit, with humidity levels of nearly 100%. Staying in the cave for very long meant fluids would start condensing in a person's lungs, which can have fatal consequences. For this reason, visits were limited to 10 minutes at first. Eventually, special cooling suits that provided chilled air allowed researchers to stay in there for longer, but draining the groundwater for nearly 2 decades halted the development of the crystals, and the cave was subsequently refilled with water so that they can hopefully resume their growth. Number 3. Mauritius Waterfall. Located roughly 1,200 miles off the African coast in the Indian Ocean, you can find the island of Mauritius. On the southwestern tip of the island, there's a fascinating optical illusion that looks like an underwater waterfall. Surprisingly, the area where the shocking phenomenon occurs is not any deeper than the surrounding waters, although it certainly seems this way. This illusion is created by runoffs of sand and silt deposits beneath the water, which change the color, making it look like it varies in depth. The Mauritius Waterfall is best viewed by helicopter, as its deceptive effects are more subtle from up close. Besides the amazing waterfall, there are plenty of other reasons to visit Mauritius, including its crystal-clear beaches and exotic wildlife. It's the only place where you'll see species such as pink pigeons, the red-headed fody bird, and the Trochetia boutoniana shrub. Who doesn't want to see that? Number 2. Deadvlei. Namibia's Deadvlei, or Dead Marsh, is located in the central Namib Desert. Deadvlei sits near some of the world's tallest sand dunes, which tower imposingly over the landscape at heights of up to 1,312 feet, even taller than the Empire State Building. At one time, a river drained into Deadvlei, making it a haven for rich wildlife, but the climate dried up around 900 years ago, becoming so arid that even the trees were unable to decompose properly. Instead, they were scorched black. Today, the 1,000-year-old trees form an eerie forest at Deadvlei. There's extremely limited wildlife there, including salsola shrubs and nara melon, which rely on the morning mist for nourishment. The views are reportedly best early in the day, as the sun rises in the clear sky over the vast red sand dunes. While you're in Namibia, you might as well visit the ghost town of Kolmanskop, and then tell me how it went. Number 1. Yosemite Firefall. California's Yosemite National Park is home to Horsetail Fall, also known as Firefall. It's a seasonal, double-streamed waterfall that flows during the winter and early spring. The eastern fall flows from a height of 1,540 feet, while the western side descends from 1,570 feet. It's Yosemite's second highest fully airborne waterfall, but that's not the only thing that makes Horsetail Fall special. Once annually, usually during the first week of February, the sun hits the waterfall from a specific angle, causing the upper reaches of the fall to illuminate. It glows orange and red at sunset under the exact right conditions. Given its rare occurrence, hundreds of people gather each year to witness the firefall, so if you plan to see it, you'd better get there early. Thanks for watching! Have you ever been to any of these places? Where would you like to visit? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. See you later! Bye!